Just had a fantastic family camping trip at Fontainebleau State Park in Mandeville, Louisiana. It's just north of Lake Pontchartrain, about 50 minutes from the heart of New Orleans. Great place for camping, fishing, biking, all kind of great nature out there, and a really well-kept campground. Can't say enough about how nice the whole facility is. Really cold, clean, brand new restrooms and bathhouses, and they take such good care of the place. Great place for camping. It's fun to be with the entire family. We set up our campsites at 133, 134, and 129, so we were able to surround each other. Really nice. The main highlight of the area is the St. Tammany Trace bike path. It's a beautiful paved 26-mile bike path that used to be an old railroad line. Cuts right through the woods, and it's just a little bit north of the campground and just south of Highway 190. Takes you through a few little small towns. You can exit the bike path and really just have a very safe, fun, nature-filled ride. And you can stop. They have little gazebos to stop at along the way. So highly recommend that. You can go either direction out of the campground. It's only about a mile from your campsite to get on the bike path. Great little spot to stop if you're riding on the Trace, the St. Tammany Trace bike path coming from Fontainebleau State Park. Bayou Adventure. It's right near Bayou Lacombe and close to Bayou Cane, but it's in the heart of the little town Lacombe, and it's only about 100 yards off the bike path. You would just turn left off the bike path if you're coming from the state park, and it's right there. It's just a little tiny town section. You also have Russell's Quick Stop across the street, and they've got great food. And my favorite, gooey cakes, which really it seems like you can only find those in New Orleans. Nothing like it. And then I noticed some food trucks as well, different things set up. So, great little spot. It's about 7 miles from the state park. It's a perfect little spot to stop. Little town of Lacombe. After about a 3.5-hour bike ride, take a little rest, and then set up the cornhole boards. Beautiful spot to play out at the campsite. All right, we got some cornhole action at the campground. H and Madonna versus John and Dana. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, crawls it up there. Oh, Madonna, you pick up those sacks too early. You're going to catch one to the head. All right. Good first round right there. It's going to be a battle. Steak dinner, Saturday night. Amen. After a great steak dinner, it was time for a very short bike ride within the campsite, right down to the pier and Lake Pontchartrain. Perfect area for some wade fishing. It's very shallow. You can walk out a long ways on a nice sandy bottom. This was such a beautiful sunset. Made some good casts, had a few hits. Lots of action out there on certain days. But as you can see, it was the most beautiful night. What a perfect sunset that is. Just right inside the campground, south to Lake Pontchartrain. An awesome night overall. Ready to shut it down and get some good rest. Early the next morning, it was off for some fishing. Bayou Lacombe, one of the many great spots to fish right around the campsite. All right, we're back here in Bayou Lacombe, back in the marsh. Cut off the main canal of Bayou Lacombe, and there's some nice little marsh back here. But it is pretty out here. No one around in the marsh. There's a bunch of people out in the canal. A lot of people crabbing. So Bayou Lacombe, I'm about probably 1 mile from Lake Pontchartrain. I could paddle down to the mouth of the canal and get into Lake Pontchartrain, no problem. Well, after the fishing trip and another great bike ride, it was time for the typical afternoon storms. Man, those things come through there quick, but clear up just as quickly. Big afternoon storms each day. Wow, that water is piling up. Glad to be finished with that bike ride. I'm really hoping my canopy doesn't fly off. Normally I take it down, but this one caught me by surprise. Hopefully it clears up quickly. It is coming down, and that's been some strong wind. Woo. And the next morning was another great fishing spot, Bayou Cane, a smaller bayou, even more picturesque. It is a beautiful, beautiful area. Was able to find a few bass as well. Well, it doesn't get much more peaceful or prettier than this. Bayou Cane, heading down towards Lake Pontchartrain. I just passed the trail that you can bike on from the state park. Very, very cool area. But this is nice. You got oak trees, pine trees, cypress trees, all covered with moss. Managed a few little marsh bass. Some days that bayou is loaded with them. Can also catch some redfish back in there for sure, and trout once you get closer to the mouth of the canal. All right, down at the mouth of Bayou Cane, where it empties into Lake Pontchartrain. It's probably about a 2.5 mile paddle. Got an alligator swimming right across the entrance there in front of me, small one. I've seen 2 big ones just behind me. Seems like all of the life is down here. I guess it's because more water pumping in here from the main lake. You might even be able to see that gator right there just cruising across. He went under. There he goes. A beautiful spot, seeing that tiny little bayou open up into huge Lake Pontchartrain. Lots of alligators enjoying it as well. And now it was back to the campsite for a little more cornhole with H and Madonna. Nice. Another great day, and the next morning came very quickly. Time to cook up some delicious ham and eggs and share one last morning breakfast with the parents at the campsite. Lots of fun. Finished up breakfast, but before packing up and heading home, we had enough time for another little bike ride. All 3 of us did a little touring around. Just so many beautiful sights to see. What a great campground that Fontainebleau State Park is. Before we finish, I wanted you to see 2 of my favorite parts of the bike riding, the Tammany Trace and the boardwalk in the campground. Here comes Madonna, cruising down the road, putting in some miles on that 3-wheeler. All right, here comes H, cruising in on the 3-wheeler. Looking good. Man, that is one smooth looking bike. You like it? Oh yeah. Doesn't get much nicer than this. Wow, what a path. Just past Bayou Lacombe, heading south, kind of southeast from the campground. About 8 miles out right now. Could go forever. And wow, that was one pretty bayou. I'll stop there and check it out on the way back. Beautiful, surrounded by pine trees. All right, we're coming off the trail back here and heading into the marsh on Alligator Marsh Boardwalk. This beautiful wooden boardwalk is right at the bottom of the campground, very close to the main lake and heading out into the marsh. Some beautiful hiking trails back in there as well. Fantastic area. Beautiful back here. It's the type of areas I'm usually in my kayak, but this boardwalk goes right through the marsh. I wish there was a little bit more water. We would be back here fishing for sure. Man, can you imagine the storms that have come through here? They do a great job at this state park, keeping up all of the facilities. the marsh right next to Lake Pontchartrain. Man, that is a lot of beauty out there. About to go over a little bridge. And that's it, right out over the marsh. Beautiful. Just a little more water and I bet there's tons of redfish out there. Got some big bullfrogs, that's for sure. Well, the trip's definitely not complete without a stop or two at Pelicans Snowballs, original New Orleans snowballs. You can get them stuffed with delicious ice cream in the middle. If you have never had that, you must try it. You can also access it right off the bike path. It was a great camping trip with the family. So grateful for the time we had and all the good relaxing fun. Thanks a lot for watching, and thanks a lot to Fontainebleau State Park.